Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 80 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week, as always, are my co-hosts, Chocolate Bear.
Hello.
And Moose.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving week for those of us that follow that or have that in their country. Moose, did you do anything for Thanksgiving? I mean, I know you did, but
yeah.
What'd you get into?
I smoked a turkey for my family.
Oh,
and
sounds
had
good.
folks over, and have been eating turkey every day since.
Sounds lovely.
So yeah, but we've had my wife's parents here since last Tuesday, so we've had a full house and not a whole lot of time for gaming. So
hey, that'll happen. This is like the busiest, at least in my experience. Like this is when I have the most family around generally, or I have like the most obligations with family is Thanksgiving, like even over Christmas. So
and Christmas parties, and friends want to get together and all sorts of crap. So the Xbox has been lonely, unfortunately.
Poor little guy. Hopefully you can get back to it this week.
Right. How's your Thanksgiving, Bear?
I am thankful for everything. Is that the right terminology?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That works, yeah. That's the perfect, vanilla thankful statement at the family gathering.
Awesome. I've had no turkey and no chicken either.
Well, chicken's not Thanksgiving.
It's not, but over here you would go for a roast. It's the most, air quotes, English traditional thing to do, but yeah.
Okay, beef fair enough. Moose, what's your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving?
I don't know. There's a few of them. Because, does gravy count as one?
I mean, gravy is just kind of like what you cover everything in so it tastes good.
Exactly.
So.
That's my favorite. But my wife makes really good sweet potato casserole that I usually don't eat during Thanksgiving, but I just eat it for breakfast for, until it's gone.
Oh, what?
It's so good, dude.
Do you do green bean casserole at all?
Yeah, we did that too. Yep.
We
do all the normals, the green bean casserole, the
stuffing, potatoes.
How do you do your stuffing? Does it have a meat in it?
No.
Oh, we do sausage in our stuffing.
Do you? Nice.
So good, dude.
That sounds good.
I guess my family doesn't, but I spent Thanksgiving at Meg's house, and her cousin definitely had sausage in it.
Did it right, dude. My grandma used to put oysters in her stuffing.
Uh-oh.
She's from her parents are from the West Coast. They lived in Seattle for a good 30-40 years. So it just became part of, what they did. And it wasn't terrible, but if you didn't know they were in there and you were bit
Surprise!
into one, oh, man. You're like, this stuffing's gone bad.
Oh, that's funny. I remember it was probably a couple Thanksgivings ago, Ladonian was talking about how he does a White Castle stuffing.
Yeah. We got to get that recipe.
Oh, my God. Definitely. I'm sure it's probably right on their website or something.
Or Ladonian could just come back to the community at some point and share.
R.I.P.
Dude, Azeroth has a grip on that guy.
I think it's more the move and his newborn, but it could be Azeroth sucking up all that extra free time.
That's probably just adulting.
Yeah, he said to me he's doing quite a bit of home improvement, so I imagine that's what is keeping him down.
Yeah. He'll be back. They always are.
They always come back.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, though, what we are thankful for and whatnot, that kind of stuff. We recently, the three of us put together a little piece over on Patreon, kind of just going over the stuff for this year that we are thankful for, whether it be family or things in games or pretty much whatever, just anything that we thought we were thankful for. We put all three of our thoughts about that into a little post, and it's over at patreon.com/CAG podcast. It's free to everyone, obviously. So just head on over there and you can give that a read, get some insight into who we are outside of the podcast, I suppose.
Right, and I think without us sharing them with each other, they all were very similar. So it seems like we're all in the same lane here.
Family, games, and friends.
Pretty much.
If you're not thankful for those things, then I think you messed up. Or just have different priorities, I suppose. Anyways, speaking of games, another week in gaming, what have we all been getting into? I'm going to start with Chocolate, who looks like he's playing a little bit of Ruiner. This is a Game Pass game, right? I feel like I've seen this name a bunch.
Yep, Game Pass game. I was a sucker. I looked at my rewards and I just wanted to gain a few extra points to boost those rewards for Christmas. And it said play any game on Game Pass, and Runa just popped up.
Sold.
Yeah, it was so silly the way I picked it. That was it. I kind of looked, I was like, okay, yeah, this one will do. But yeah, my God, the game's really, really good. It's got that lovely kind of synth murder house Terminator kind of vibe and look to it.
I love everything you just said.
Yeah, it's so the way I looked at it when I first saw it, if you can envision a poor man's cyberpunk on a not 2D, it's kind of top down to the side.
We have to figure out
textures
what that viewpoint is called.
Yeah,
I feel like we struggle with that every single time.
Yeah, I need to research it. I was meant to do some research before I jumped on and didn't.
I'd say Diablo style.
Yeah, well, it says over the head perspective. I've just Wikipedia'd this, but it's still top down, so I don't get it. But it's got that kind of Terminator vibe where you have to go kill people, and your face is robotic, and messages pop up. So right at the beginning, you get a message that pops up and saying something along the lines of "time to kill" or "no time," and then you just literally go into a run of murdering people to get to a boss. I'll kill boss, I think it was, and you have to go and kill a boss. I'm yet to kill the boss.
The image I just brought up quick, it just says "kill you, kill you, kill you, kill you" all down his face.
Yeah, it's mental. It kind of reminds me of like a mask out of Borderlands 3. Is it Z or Zero? Zero's mask, but with kind of on the front bit you could type in words.
Right, it's got an LED display on the front that you can put whatever you want on it.
Yeah.
Is this twin stick?
Twin stick. So I've got it on Wikipedia. I'll read the first couple of lines for the synopsis, and it says Runa takes place in 2091 in, I'm not even going to pronounce that place that it starts, and surrounding facilities owned by the Haven. It's a conglomerate. I can't even say that
Conglomerate.
Thank you, sir. Led by a man referred in game to as the boss. Initially, the player character, a silent protagonist dubbed Puppy by another character, is being led by a rogue hacker named Wizard to assassinate the boss. It plays well. It feels good. There's kind of a that old 80s kind of arcade feel when you grab a gun. You've only got X amount of bullets on that gun, and as you kill someone else, you can pick up another gun. The game is quite good. It's kind of mindless, monotonous. You don't need to kind of think about the story, so you just play, kill, and enjoy.
All right, the murder game.
And it's murder, which is really good.
All right, dude, sounds good.
Yeah,
I like a good top-down game, and especially if it's free on Game Pass, why not?
Definitely. Yeah, this is the opportune time. Well, I think we say it for the past God knows how many months to try all these weird and wonderful games that jump into Game Pass.
Yeah, what better time than now?
Yes.
I suppose. Anywho, Moose, how's Star Wars Fallen Order coming?
I'm getting close.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I have like one chapter left. So I'm getting close to the end. I think I have almost all my Force powers, or I have all of them. I just need to unlock the skill tree. And I somehow missed the double-sided lightsaber, wherever that was, because I'm almost at the end of the game, and I still haven't found it.
It's funny, because I did that on accident at the very beginning of the game. They're kind of just, and I think Chocolate may have too, actually.
Yeah, Chocolate had his, and I was like, where in the hell did you get that from?
I think it was the second... Was it the second planet?
Yeah.
That you visited? Darth Maul?
Dathomir.
Dathomir,
which is where Darth Maul's from. So that makes sense.
Touche.
But yeah, so like early on in the game, it tells you like these are the two planets you can go to. Dathomir is like the more dangerous one though, and it's not where your main objective was. So there was no real reason to go there. I just went there because I'm aware of that planet,
right.
And so I went there and then just stumbled upon this double-sided lightsaber, and I was like, okay, so there was a reason to go here. So I had that pretty much from the start of the game, pretty close.
Right, I missed it somehow. So I just escaped the prison, and I'm returning to Kashyyyk, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
So I actually just met somebody in Kashyyyk.
So I've done that. I think I've done that prison. Is that where the Norwegian kind of throat singer?
Yes, when the music starts up again, that's at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. So I must be round by you. So that's only chapter, if I'm right, chapter 4. I think there's 6 chapters.
Correct. So I've gotten to the start of chapter 5.
Okay, yeah. So you're just a tiny bit ahead of me. I couldn't plow through Kashyyyk.
So I guess the next chapter, because I'm just looking at a list here, is Dathomir. So I guess I'll pick up that double-sided saber while I'm there.
It is kind of cool that you could go through the whole game. I mean, a large chunk of it without having it, and then other people have it. It's just kind of all it really does for you is it gives you more of an AOE like crowd control kind of attack because you can just swing it around.
Where I'm at right now, so I just have been forcing everybody off cliffs.
Oh, which is so much fun.
Right.
Apart from when you fight which one is the stormtrooper all in black with the double kind of baton?
I think those are the Inquisitors.
You fight them a few times.
Those bad boys, they don't go off the side. They will not go off the side at all.
Yeah, it is nice when you get to more difficult enemies, how they do kind of change up the playstyle a little bit, or make you have to change it up. So if you're used to just throwing these crappy stormtroopers off the sides of cliffs, you come into an Inquisitor, and it's like, oh, okay, I have to actually fight you now.
I'd say that the most useful attack I have so far is the lunge attack, the heavy lunge, because you can attack, like after you put the extension on it, you can lunge at somebody from like a good 30 feet away.
Yeah, I think if you keep going down that tree, you can hit it twice. So he'll do it like 2 consecutive strikes, and it's super powerful. That's a good one though.
Yeah, that's what I've been using to kill most of the boss monsters and stuff. Is dive roll, and then a heavy attack.
Yeah. Do you love how when you dodge too much, the guys are like, "Is that all you can do? Is dodge?"
Dude, they just talk crap to you.
Like, kind of, yes. If it's working, I'm not going to stop doing it. Right, exactly. Survivability.
So I think this may turn me on to Dark Souls, though, because I really like this game a lot.
Yeah, definitely give it a shot. Do you have Dark Souls? I have a copy of Dark Souls I can probably send your way, because I don't know if I'll ever get into it. So
throw it in the box with the next game we can talk about. What you been playing, Risky?
Next game we're going to talk about is a little game called Control, up for Game of the Year at Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year Awards.
Yeah, it's late to the party, but now you're here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You consumed that game in 2 days?
Yeah, so I bought it on Black Friday.
Now it's Sunday, just for everybody out there.
And now it's Sunday, and that game's done. I really took a lot of inspiration from Chocolate. Just he'd come to each new episode and be like, "I beat another game," and I was like, "Oh man, I really need to step it up, huh?" So we did Star Wars one week, Control this week, and who knows what's next week.
I'm pulling a family card this week. That's all I can say.
Hey, that's fine.
I need to up my game.
I'm gonna catch you. I got Gears and Call of Duty are both hopefully short things. Maybe I'll finish up one of those, and we'll let's go.
I need to just fire up Gears on xCloud and just grind through that thing while I'm watching all these wonderful Disney Plus shows that I enjoy.
Definitely true. Yeah, so I've been playing Control, which is made by Remedy. Those are the people that did the Xbox exclusive Quantum Break from a few years ago and Alan Wake way back in the day. So I've always loved their games. I liked both of those games a lot. I think Quantum Break was kind of weird because it had the whole TV show aspect thrown in there. But this doesn't do a lot of that at all. Well, it doesn't. There's still the live action stuff, but it's kind of built into the game.
There's not a 20-minute episode that you have to watch between.
Yeah, like you don't have to cook a meal for the next part of your game to like sit down and watch for an hour.
Right.
This is more like some instructional videos will be on like a monitor in game, and that'll be a real person instead of a animated person, obviously. So it's kind of there a little bit, but the game's super weird. You start off as this chick named Jessie. She gets drawn to this place called the Oldest House, which is also it's called the oldest house, but then once humans come like take over this spot, it becomes the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, which is the name of the game, obviously. She gets drawn there. She's trying to find her brother. A long time ago, the Bureau took her brother and left her at this like a crime scene, essentially. There's so much weird stuff going on in this game. Like, I got finished with it and then had to stop, sit there, and then go read back through a bunch of things I had picked up and like audio logs I had picked up to try to kind of piece together what had just happened to me, I guess. This is another game where, much like Quantum Break, where I usually don't read a ton of the stuff I pick up or listen to a lot of audio logs. I will do dialogue with characters in game, but usually if I pick up something and I have to read a bunch of it, I won't do that. But for this game, this is just like Quantum Break. The world they're building is super interesting. So when you finally get to this oldest house thing, it's kind of just like you'd be walking into what I'm assuming would be like the FBI headquarters, except for it's the Federal Bureau of Control this time around. And it's being taken over by this thing called the Hiss. The Hiss it's kind of like a mind control thing. It'll take over other people within the Bureau, make them attack you. But another thing it does is the oldest house itself, it's kind of like an infinite building that's changing itself all the time. So this whole entire game takes place in the oldest house / the FBC. Same thing, two different names. But so the whole game takes place in there. So you're taking this maybe like 10 to 15 hour journey, and I still have more stuff I could do on the side, but this whole entire game is played within this because one of the things that the building you're in actually does is it changes shape as you're playing it. So you can go into a new area and it'll just completely morph itself into something different that you haven't seen. And this building itself is in New York City apparently, but you can only find it if you're looking for it. Think of like Harry Potter and the platform in 9 3/4 is literally the only thing I can think of that is similar to this, where you kind of like, unless you know about it, it's not something you would stumble upon. So this whole place is hidden, and your job is to just get in there and fix this Hiss problem, figure out what happened to your brother, and those are the main two things you're fighting for here. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens while you're in there. The game's actually a lot more tense than I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't want to say it's
spooky. Perfect.
Okay, so that's the thing. I don't want to say it's a spooky game, but there's definitely some just weird paranormally kind of stuff, but there's not like a bunch of jump scares or anything like that, which will be good for you, Moose, when you give it a shot. So that's kind of what the story is, and then a couple other things that I think are super awesome about this game. A lot of Jessie's powers, coming off of Star Wars just recently, there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn between the powers that she has. She has, I guess maybe not like Star Wars. Think maybe more like Magneto. I think that's a much better description of this. So she can literally like pick up anything, throw it at people. But if there's not like a chair or a table around, she actually like yanks concrete out of the wall and throws it. And like the environments are all destructible. So a lot of times I'll be like hiding behind a pillar, and if there's nothing behind me for her to pick up, she'll just be constantly taking from this pillar until it literally like cracks and breaks and it's just like gone. So that says a lot about the destructibility of the world, but also just how cool her set of abilities is. That's just one of them. It's the pull. She also has a shield where she pulls in a bunch of concrete around her and just kind of makes like a barrier. And as you get further into the game, I'm actually not going to talk about it. There's one ability you get like halfway-ish through, which is a big game changer that I won't get into. You have a dash, and then the main weapon you're using, because obviously you can throw objects at the Hiss, which is not the best name for a bad guys. The Hiss.
The Hiss.
They sound like they should be snakes or something. They're not. So it's weird. But you have this weapon called the service weapon, and what it does is it can change forms on the go. So because all the weird paranormal stuff, this is a weapon that is from like the more paranormal side of things. It's called the something plane, and I can't think of it right now. But so you have this pistol, and you can change it into like a long range gun that shoots like one blast, but takes a little bit to reload. You can put it into a shotgun, turn it into an SMG, all these kind of things, and then you can also upgrade them. That's another thing, is this game does have some RPG elements in it, so you do have a skill tree where you can level up each one of your throw powers, your shield, that kind of stuff. That can all be upgraded, and your weapons can also be upgraded with little mods that you find from like killing enemies. You can also buy some. But yeah, so that gun's pretty dope. Her powers are awesome, and I will say, like, this is, and I have a good comparison because I just played Star Wars, but I would say this game feels better than Star Wars as far as like the combat and the traversal and the movement goes.
So is this like a third-person type game?
Yes, it's
like
a third-person action-adventure game, which are like my favorite games. Star Wars I was going to love it because of Star Wars, but also because of the type of action-adventure game it was, and this is the same exact thing. They're two very similar games to come off of each other with the way they play. The story's obviously just completely different, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's really good, and I think it probably deserves. I don't think it's near the top of my list for the year, but it's definitely up there as one of the better games this year. And I don't know if, what's up, Chocolate?
Sorry, no, go on.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's because it's not that strong of a year or what, but yeah, it's good so far for sure.
I was gonna say, it sounds very much like Remedy do some really weird, freaky games, and Control and Quantum Break, from what I've seen, kind of, they seem quite close in, not combat style's the wrong word, but kind of the way they tell the story and how, the story's very much out there.
Yeah,
are they related at all, story-wise, or?
So yeah, I was gonna get to that. I think they're very similar, Chocolate, with what you're saying, because Remedy's very good at writing fiction, so they can come up with these super weird just worlds. And Quantum Break was more about time and time travel and like stopping time, that kind of stuff, where this is more about manipulating the present and like stuff around you, I guess. But yeah, they're definitely similar-ish. As far as them being connected, those two are never talked about in the same breath. But one thing that comes up in some of the paperwork you can read is Alan Wake. They specifically talk about Alan Wake. They talk about all the stuff that was happening in Washington during that game as one of these man, there's so many abbreviations in this game. It's called an AWE. It's like an all-world event or something like that, but that one of those things is what took place in Alan Wake. So it's kind of cool that they're tied together, and they refer to him as Mr. Wake and the stuff that he had gone through. But I think I read it in 2 pieces of paper that I picked up. So like if you miss those, you'd never see it, but it's like a slight nod to the game.
Gotcha.
And it puts them in the same exact world, which I think is really cool.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm excited to get my hands on it. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely do. And so I rolled credits, obviously, but after you roll credits, you can go back in if you have any side stuff that you didn't do. There are side stories, and I actually did give them a shot after I got through the game. Some of them are actually pretty decent, so I would say don't skip all of them, but there's some that kind of seem like fetch questy. You can probably avoid those. But yeah, some of what I've been running into after I beat the game has been interesting, just stuff that I hadn't done before. So yeah, just make sure after the credits roll to hop back in there, even if you just go in to talk to like the few people that are on your team, to just, because you have dialogue choices with them, or like things you can go over with them, I guess. So you can see how they're doing after the game ended, how like their future plans, that kind of stuff. And you can do that with a few different people that helped you along the way, I guess. So definitely go back and do that. But either way, Control's dope, and I definitely think everyone should give it a shot. I picked it up for, well, technically I picked it up for $15 because that was a price error, but $25 I think is what I saw it for Black Friday. So I would see that price probably just becoming a thing pretty soon here if you can't find it that cheap.
Right. Well, things usually go cheaper than Black Friday in about 2 weeks. So.
Right. If you just wait 2 weeks after Black Friday, you'll really get the cheap stuff.
So, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. It's really good. All right. Oh, man. I've actually seen this next game, Chocolate. Headlanders. I'm going to let you talk about it.
Game, dude.
It is weird.
The game is absolutely crazy. So, basically, you're a flying head.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Don't let that put you off. So you start off. I think the first level is you're a flying head. You go maybe a few minutes into the game, and then you're able to land on bodies. The gist of it's, I suppose, it's a tiny bit like a puzzle platformer, but not in the kind of, if you're thinking kind of Mario or things like that. It's not that type of platformer as such. It's more you're platforming with the head. There's like large gaps in maps where you have to use your head to fly over to another body.
Because doesn't it have like it's like a jetpack propelled head?
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Kind of.
So it's not. I suppose it is a head, but you're in a kind of a spacesuit helmet. You're in the space helmet,
Right. Okay.
So below that, you do have the ability to fire off a jet, which comes out of where your neck should be. This game sounds completely wrong. I should stop playing it right now. Then, yeah, as I said, you can board other bodies, and you gain abilities as you go through the level, as you progress. I've managed to get an ability where I can suck off other... Oh, hang on. Phrasing. I have now found an ability where I can pull off is the wrong word.
Remove
I am
the heads.
now paying attention, Bear. Tell me about this game.
Oh, are you? Where you can remove other people's heads
Oh, okay.
and take over their bodies.
and take over their bodies. Yeah,
So does each body have like a different attribute, kind of like Cappy in Mario Odyssey, where you throw your cap on whoever and then you can kind of take over whatever they do?
not really, no. As you progress through the planets, I think I'm only on level 2, you get new stylish bodies, but the body realistically still does nothing. It's just a vessel for you to walk across and take you to the next part. You can shoot guns. Yeah, it doesn't do much else than that.
Okay.
But it is nice. It's a Metroidvania style game. It's a 2.5D style game. It's enjoyable. Again, it's another mind numbing puzzle platforming type game.
Sounds like you need a lot of mind-numbing
I know, Bear.
games this week.
Sounds like you need to come visit me in Colorado. I can numb your mind.
I thought I'd try some new games. I was trying to rack up my rewards points on Microsoft, and I also didn't want to talk about just Star Wars and Call of Duty. So I thought these games are perfect because I can say convincingly without feeling embarrassed that I was going to suck someone's head off, and then realise that was completely wrong.
Did you get that timestamp again?
Yeah, I missed the
those are
time
staying
stamps.
in there for the comedic gold.
That is me. But yeah, the game's cool. It is. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, and looking at the art on Game Pass, it really doesn't do the game justice on what the game actually is. So if you have seen it and thought, no, I'm not going to play this, jump in. It's not that bad.
Okay. Fair.
Give it a shot, huh?
Give it a shot. Definitely give it. Oh God. Yeah. Let's move on.
Give it a go. Here we go.
Yeah.
And before we take off, Moose, we were talking about Thanksgiving a little bit before we actually started recording, and you mentioned that you got to play some Settlers of Catan. We don't talk about board games ever, but
Right.
you're playing the Game of Thrones edition of Settlers of Catan. And I think Settlers of Catan is the perfect game if you're going to talk about a board game because most people have heard of it or played it. So what's going on with this game?
Well, I didn't know one crucial key that I thought you could only have 2 settlements on each hexagon. So I bought a lot more roads than I needed to, and probably could have won the game, but I didn't because I made that error. But my wife won, so good for her. We basically only played the basic version of the game. So anytime you rolled a 7, then Tormund, the big redheaded dude, comes in, and he takes over that space.
Does he steal all your stuff
Yeah,
like a normal Catan?
Exactly. He takes half of whatever you have if you have more than 7 cards.
That's great.
And then also he'll block whatever space the person who rolls the 7 chooses, and then they don't get any resources.
What a jerk.
Yeah, the Giant's Bane, exactly. Eamster knows what's up. And so yeah, it's a fun game. Definitely gonna have to re-strategize now that I know the rules to the game. So
yeah, that'll make a big difference. So you're not the railroad tycoon just laying down roads everywhere.
Right. I thought we were playing Ticket to Ride, and all of a sudden it wasn't that game.
Exactly. That's cool. I just thought I'd ask about it because I've seen the Game of Thrones edition. I thought it looked cool, but there's so many different editions of Catan at this point that it's like I don't know which one I'm supposed to play, so I generally just play the normal.
Yeah,
normal
I'll have to fill
one.
you in on the Game of Thrones portions of it because I think we've got the basic version down now, so we can expand on
Start
that.
adding all that other stuff.
Yeah, hero cards, and I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that we just left in the box. So
Sweet. All right. Well, hey,
Yes, sir.
it's a pretty short week for us as far as games go. I was literally just played Control with like a touch of Destiny this week.
right.
So yeah,
Holiday times are busy. Not a whole lot of time for games.
yeah. And this isn't in our news, but if you're into Destiny, the reveal of next season is this. It's the 4th, whatever that day that's going to be.
That is.
Is that a Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah. So Wednesday, December 4th, Destiny's revealing their next season of content. So check that out.
And how many
That's
days
kind of-
do we have left to finish up?
I think you have to like the 14th. I think, or maybe. I think you have like 10 to 15 days left if you're trying to grind out that season pass in Destiny.
I got like 50 levels to go. It ain't happening.
You can now buy them, so might as well
Not
just
with
do that.
money. Nah.
Yeah, with real money, man.
No,
Why
I
not?
give them enough money. I give them $60 every year. So
At least.
yeah, and I shred most of the stuff I end up getting anyway. So
Yeah, I went through this whole season pass, and I can't tell you a single thing that I cut from it or really
Exactly.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Before we get into the news, I will hit on Game Pass Roulette quick. Our current game is Rage 2. We'll be talking about it on December 17th, whatever episode that is. So if you have feedback for it or whatever, make sure to hop into Discord. We have a Game Pass Roulette channel right in there. Or just get us your feedback however you can. So yeah, Rage 2, still have a couple more weeks to play some of that if you got time. Do it up. All right. Anyways, now we can get into some news. All right, Moose, what's going on in the news this week?
well, as you guys know, Stadia has gone off without a hitch.
This guy.
So last week, some people came out with some information that it's not actually 4K and 60 frames. It's actually 1080p at 30 frames, and they upscale it, kind of like Xbox One X does to all the old games. And it looks not great. So basically, many tech sites and reviewers are complaining that AAA titles that Stadia boasted to be 4K 60, they're not. In reality, they're 1080 4K upscale, like I said. And Stadia has a response. It's a little bit long, so have a seat, have a sip, you know. Stadia streams at 4K and 60 FPS. All that includes all aspects of our graphics pipeline from game to screen, GPU, encoder, and Chromecast Ultra all outputting at 4K to 4K TVs with the appropriate internet connection. Developers making Stadia games work hard to deliver the best streaming experience in every game. Like you see on all platforms, it indicates a variety of techniques to achieve the best overall quality. We give developers freedom of how to achieve the best image quality and frame rate on Stadia, and we are impressed with what they've been able to achieve for day one. We expect many developers can, and in most cases will, continue to improve their games on Stadia. Because Stadia lives in our data centers, developers are able to innovate quickly and deliver even better experiences directly to you without a need for game patches or downloads. So in my interpretation, they're just basically passing this on to the devs, saying, the guys didn't do it, so talk to them, which is a cop out completely, in my opinion.
I'm sure I saw a tweet that said, kind of, without all that bump, it just said, it's not us, it's the developers, which sounds absolutely ridiculous.
It's garbage. So, I don't know. What do you think, Bear?
I wasn't... The only thing I liked about Stadia anyway was that whole kind of YouTube type integration. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of what I've seen of Stadia. So this is not good. It's a massive shot in the foot, I think, for them.
It's more than that. It's they've promised and boasted all these things and they haven't delivered on one, I don't believe. So
that's the best part is that if you're gonna play this right now, like the pro version is what enables 4K 60 frames per second. So people are literally paying for pixels that this thing can't even output for them. And if it is outputting it, it's upscaled, like checkerboarded. Just God, it's so cringy. This is so bad.
Right, and then they just pass the buck off on developers, like, oh well, it's up to them to figure it out. It's our technology, but they got to figure it out.
It's the weirdest thing that the only way you can get into this still is through their stupid founders packs. There's literally people like me who are willing to pay this horrible service, which I know is bad, $10 a month, so I can play Destiny on the fly through my phone. Right. But they won't even let me do that, and I wonder how many other people are out there like that have very specific use cases with specific games that they're just missing out on because nobody wants to spend $130 to play a game that's free everywhere. Like it's it's mind blowing.
They just added 2 games to their free games catalog, but people have already purchased those. So after a little bit of a hullabaloo in the last couple days, they're willing to refund you for those games if you purchased them. I think it's Tomb Raider, and I can't really remember the other one, but I hope Bear's got some news for us later.
No. But those 2 games they said they were going to release weren't brilliant games. They were bang average, fairly old. I want to say.
Yeah, the first one of the ones that they're like, this is our first free game is literally Destiny 2, which is free right now,
and it's running like mud.
One of their free games is a game that went free to play a couple months ago. Right? What? Go home, Stadia. You're drunk.
Yeah, at this point, if they get a few more weeks like this, they may just end up scrapping the project like we discussed earlier because nothing's gone right so far, right?
Yeah. Oh, God.
So, do you think they'll be dishing out money backs, though? Or do you think that's...
Nah, just, hey, thanks for backing us. Thanks for being a day one person. Sorry it didn't work.
Ooh, ouch.
I don't know if that'd go over well, They'd probably end up having to do something after the internet outrage gets a hold of them. So, let's talk about something better, some good news. There's definitely a Tony Hawk Pro Skater project in the works. Gaming Insider and notorious leaker Sabi, we've talked about this person before, is at it again. Last weekend, he or she, I'm not sure if it's a male or a female, so I tried to look it up and could not find anything.
That's the point. They're supposed to be anonymous.
Exactly. So they leaked that there are prototypes of the remasters of Pro Skaters 1 and 2 being passed around at Activision and being played. This could just be an in-house project for fun for them, but there's just a little bit more to that leak. Back in October, there was a podcast called the Nine Club Podcast, and they had pro skater Lizzie Amanto on, and she was in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, and she said, quote, Tony Hawk is coming out with another one, and I'll be in that one too. And the audio has since been scrubbed from that episode, so take that for what you will, but look for
fishy.
Look for some Tony Hawk, and hopefully it's good Tony Hawk, back to the roots.
Old school stuff. Tony Hawk, the best Tony Hawk.
Exactly. So, Bear, did you ever play in these Tony Hawk games?
I was never a massive skater.
Neither was I, but the game was so much fun.
Yeah, but back then, I think all I was, it was all about FIFA or Pro Evo. That was it. My palate was so bland, it was ridiculous.
Just basic Bear, huh?
But occasionally I like to just Go cool and be a basic bear.
And now you're playing Headlanders.
I know. Since doing this podcast, my gaming genre palette has opened up immensely.
Yeah.
And I've even put down the FIFAs.
Right? I haven't touched FIFA in a while. Probably basketball has something to do with that. But so I'm excited. Tony Hawk, especially back in the original PlayStation days, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, that was kind of right where it was the best. So if they can stay in that lane and come up with something new, I'm all for it. All right. There was an interview with, I think it's Games Radar. Matt Booty sat down to talk about their immediate future for Xbox, and I just pulled out a few bullet points from the question and answer interview. Their goal is to set a release for a AAA first-party game once every 3 to 4 months, so that's exciting news, and that should launch straight to Game Pass day and date. They're equally focused on first and third-party titles, so they're basically saying, don't worry, we're working hard on both sides. And then all Xbox Studio games will cross seamlessly into Project Scarlet. That means anything that you buy now on Xbox One, you'll be able to play on the new system. But he did say that he can't speak for third-party developers because they may handle next-gen titles differently. So that sounds a little bit yucky, but they may, EA may pull an EA and charge you twice for a title.
Yeah, I think that was it GTA did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
On the 360 and then on the One.
Well, it was cool when they did those because they had that like little $10 upgrade deal, at least on PlayStation, because I was all PlayStation at the time. So I know it was because I bought a couple of the games. I want to say it was Call of Duty Ghosts. I bought twice, and so the second copy was only $10, and then. Can't remember the other one. It was probably one of the Uncharted games that came out right around then. So,
but it's good that Microsoft are saying they will have the seamless. So it's not Microsoft pushing you to say all our titles you will have to rebuy.
Right.
That I suppose as the console developer, that's good.
Right, and they're just trying to get people excited about Scarlet and tell them if you want to invest in these titles or in these IPs right now, you have no worry if you're coming to Xbox because everything in house will be seamless to the next console. Yeah,
definitely, that's brilliant.
So yeah, and that leads us to our last story in the news today. It's a slow gaming news week. I literally looked at five of the major gaming websites this morning, and it was all just game gift giving guides and Black Friday sales and stuff like that. So if you want to find something on sale, it's on sale right now. That's all the news I have to say about that. But for our last story, COD Modern Warfare Season 1 starts on December 3rd. So the content will drop to all platforms at the same time this year. So that's a fresh breath of air for us Xbox players. And not all the content will drop immediately. They'll kind of trickle feed it out throughout the season. And they also say that maybe they're holding some information back and not everything has been released for Season 1 yet. So what they did let you know is there's going to be new maps for all game modes. Multiplayer, Spec Ops, what is the 2 gunfight mode? Is that what it's called?
Is it Spec Ops? I'm sure
I
it's
think
Spec
it's just
Ops,
called
isn't it?
Gunfight.
Gunfight?
2v2,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a new map for the 2v2. There's also some new Spec Ops experiences. There's new multiplayer game modes, new weapons. There's a battle pass that you can either choose to go the paid mode or the non-paid mode. Obviously, you're going to unlock more things if you pay for the battle pass. And the biggest thing is there was no news about the new Battle Royale mode. So
boo. Bunch of bums.
But that might
not ready.
The new Season 1 may give Risky incentive to jump in and see what's going on. I don't know.
It seems. I mean, it's a good chunk of additional content at no cost. So.
Right. And I haven't touched any of the Spec Ops stuff. Have you guys?
Nope.
No.
Yeah. So I hear there's some good stuff in there.
All I know is that the Spec Ops maps are supposedly part of the Battle
Royale map. Yep. And there's a new Ground War map as well. So.
Yeah, so I wonder if this is just like the final couple pieces they need for Battle Royale.
Right.
And now that everybody's going to know them and be playing them, now they can mush them all together and give me what I really want.
They didn't plan on putting out the BR mode till like season 3, but now they're like scramble. It's coming out at the end of season 1.
Yeah, if they see drop off from the player base, that's one way to bring it back.
So I know a lot of people are still playing it, but I haven't touched it since like a weekend.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan today, and he sent me a screenshot of him going 50. It was 53-6 on a ground war game, and his team lost.
Oh man.
Wow.
Rough. That sucks.
So yeah, that's about it for the news. Like I said last week, it's probably going to be this way for the rest of the year, unless somebody does something bad at a holiday party.
Yeah, right. Somebody leaves a flash drive laying in a bar somewhere.
Flash drives. Somebody's things that happen at Christmas parties. Just use your imagination.
All the inappropriate stuff.
Exactly.
As long as they're wizards and magicians, that's
my God.
There's been too many kids' parties.
Wow.
He just walks in the door. Do you guys have magic?
Nope, I'm out then. I am out.
All right, Bear. Well, before you go, let us know what games are out this week.
I will do. Right, so there's a few games out, but there is nothing that was notable that jumped up and said, this game is brilliant. All right, maybe two. So when does... Oh, God. Why is Halo Master Chief... Halo Reach is dropping...
Right.
Is this week or next?
This week. It's the 5th, I believe.
Yeah, so that drops.
And it drops on PC, the whole collection. Same day.
The whole collection, yeah. And then there's something like 2 million maps or something absolutely astounding.
I want to say it was like 6 million maps on Reach.
It was something
really
dumb. It's a number that's not even worth mentioning. There's so many maps, and I think that's all included.
So.
Exactly, in a lifetime. There is also another game called Ancestors that is out on Xbox and PlayStation, and that is out on
December
the 6th.
Yeah. This is that evolution primate type game, right? Where you join a primate family and it's just like a nature survival type game.
It looks super weird. It's been out on PC since like August or something, I think. So hopefully they tested it all out for us.
There's also a bee simulator game that's coming out on Windows.
Saw that.
Yeah. So there's some weird stuff coming out if you're busy. If you're not busy, Bear.
Stop on the flowers, get the pollen, then just.
Yeah, if it's in Game Pass, I might have a dabble, but other than that, there is no chance. That, to be honest, was the most notable games that are really coming out.
Yeah, there's nothing.
No. They're like, have a good holiday season. See you in January.
We're done for now. Check first quarter 2020.
I mean, let's be honest. We were inundated September, October, so they're probably giving us
even
time to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. We also had games with gold announced for. Well, they're live now, aren't they? Insane Robots. I haven't got the dates here because I'm foolish and didn't write them down. So we've got
Insane Robots. I think was the first half game. So
right.
to the 15th or whatever.
15th or 16th, and then you've got Jurassic World Evolution, and that's the Zook Tycoon style Jurassic World.
Is that the one it is?
Game.
I might try that.
I was gonna say this is one that when it came out, I was like, oh, I don't love this type of games, but it kind of sounds like it could be awesome, and I couldn't pull the trigger for $60.
Doc went way deep into. I remember.
Yeah, he did.
Yes,
he'd like beat all 4 different planet or worlds or whatever islands.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the PlayStation Plus, we have Monster Energy Supercross.
Yes.
I take it that's just some sort of
like motocross,
biking,
motocross game.
Dirt bikes.
And they have an absolute banger of a game of Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that game is awesome.
If you haven't picked it up for $7 in the last 3 years,
if you haven't bought it yet, are you going to at this point?
What are you waiting for? Because that's the best game they've made in a while.
Fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. But yeah, that's about it. I haven't put down the 360 games because normally, let's be honest, they're trash.
Yeah, they just take up space on my hard drives.
Yeah. So the games aren't fantastic. I think one was a Toy Story Racing something or other, and I can't think of the other game. But they're not overly exciting games to purchase.
Toy Story 3 is what chat is saying.
Toy Story 3. Thank you, chat.
Oh,
And Eamster, while you're there, do you have the other one? Castlevania. Oh, to be fair, Castlevania.
that's probably a good one to pick up.
Yeah.
One for games coming out this week, and I looked this up a while ago, but the final episode of Life is Strange 2 comes out December 3rd. So if you've been playing that, or if you, like me, are waiting until they're all out, that's today, the day you're listening to this on the 3rd. So.
But then doesn't it come out of Game
Yeah,
Pass
it's
as well, I'm
It's
thinking?
leaving Game Pass soon.
Was Game Pass just the first episode, though?
No, they put it all in there.
They put it all
First
on.
game,
I
God.
meant to say it.
When does it leave? Did it just leave?
I'm looking right now. I have the app.
Probably just
I'm
left.
yeah.
No, I think it leaves. Here, let me look.
I think on the app it only says leaving soon. I'm bringing it up now.
Somebody
Don't
tell
think
me.
I know, right? Leaving soon. Here we go. Life is Strange. Complete season. Tell me when it's leaving.
Chat, help.
I know.
This is
Yeah.
what
It
I
says
need you
leaving
most.
soon.
Okay, so hopefully.
It's probably by the end of the month.
Oh, so I have a whole month to do it?
Yeah.
That
It
would
says,
be great.
Let's see. You got Life is Strange, the complete season 1 through 5 for the first game, and then the complete Before the Storm, Life is Strange Before the Storm, complete season. They're both leaving. Is that the
Okay.
correct game?
No, Life is Strange 2. Life is
Oh,
Strange
okay.
Before the Storm was an in-between one.
Oh, so both of those are leaving Game Pass. So they may just be prepping.
Huh, okay.
For, we shall see.
Maybe it's just the first one going. No, Life is Strange. Oh yeah, no, it is the first one is leaving, not the second.
Okay,
then,
so I don't have to rush to
yeah.
beat
Oof.
episodes 1 through 4 before they disappear and then just buy episode 5. That would have
Nope.
been too easy.
It looks like episodes 1 through 4 are on Game Pass.
Well, for
Yeah.
anyone who didn't play through Life is Strange and likes the walk around story type games, that's probably one of my favorite one of those games ever. I love Life is Strange so much. It's so angsty teenager-ish, and I
then
love
they did
it.
a little side spin story off of it, right? With the
Yeah, that's-
kid, Wonder Boy or something like that.
Captain Phantasmic or something.
There you go. Yeah. They're in the same town, but they're different
something
stories
like
or something
that.
like that.
Yeah, I didn't play that one. I played Before the Storm because it was part of the first one. It was like a prequel, so that was fine. But the second one I think looks decent, but I didn't want to get into it and then have to stop and start waiting for episodes because I hate that. So, and I don't have the attention span for that. Let's be honest.
Right.
So
I'd say if you want to play Life is Strange for free, just play it by the 15th, and you should be good.
do it.
Is it worth playing? I've never touched Life is Strange.
For me,
or
no.
anyone ever
But
tells
for
me.
people like Risky, yes.
Yeah, it's you're
It's all,
literally just
time. What is
walking around.
it? Quick time events. Right?
Yeah. It's not much of a game as it is. It's like
It's
a
a
Telltale
story.
game. That's
Yeah.
all. That's
Tell
all
me
it
that,
is.
okay.
It's like a better looking Telltale game.
Oh, maybe I'll try it.
Give it a
Maybe
shot
I'll
if you get into
try
it. Once you get it starts off real innocent, but towards the end of it, some of the stuff starts to get real weird, and it's real weird in a murder mystery, like a thriller kind of way. So
Okay, not like a Hello Neighbor. This will make me want to
No,
watch.
no.
You just can't get off that game, Bear.
it's his favorite
I
game.
do
You're
of
never
all
going to
time.
get away from your nickname if you don't stop talking about that game, dude.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Hello, bear.
New year, new
Hello,
me.
neighbor.
Neighbor.
Perfect.
Oh Jesus.
That's horrible. All right. Is that
Yep.
all of our? Can we leave?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think our time here is
let's,
done. Short and sweet.
Just like
Yeah,
you,
very short.
dear listeners. Unless you're
No.
tall, then short and sweet like Sweeney. I've definitely made that joke before, but he's the sweetest. Anyways, let's plug this thing up. First and foremost, head over to iTunes. Make sure to rate us, leave comments, all that fun stuff. We also are on Discord, obviously. That's where we all hang out every single day. We have different channels for everything. Our Game Pass Roulette channel's there. We have everything. Just go into Discord. There's a link for it in the description. Hop in, chat with us, chat with the community. Just get into it.
I've dropped a link in the Twitch chat as well, so there's no excuse.
So if you're listening live on Twitch, you can do that. And if you don't usually listen live on Twitch, you can hop over and do that. It kind of varies from week to week, but we've been doing like Sunday night, Sunday evening ish. But if you follow us on Twitter. We're at CAG Podcast. We obviously tweet out when that's going live or if we have an approximate time for it. So come join us live and chat. If you want to support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. You can check out that article that the three of us just put together about what we're thankful for Thanksgiving, that fun stuff. Even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can still check it out. And obviously, we like to shout out our top tier contributors every episode. Chaotic, that's you. Again, I don't get tired of saying it, ever. I don't know if I will. It's a solid golf clap.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
The clap that you deserve would be too loud for everyone's ears, so we're not going to do it here.
Well, I would wake all my children.
And there's sleeping children in the bear household, so
exactly.
Don't wake the sleeping baby bears. An additional way that you can support us is through our merch store. We are on Spreadshirt, so there's a link for that in the description. You can pick up Across Atlantic Gaming hoodie, shirts, hats, socks. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're looking to gear up for the winter, which it's coming down in Syracuse right now, and I wish I had a Across Atlantic Gaming hoodie, but I don't. Well, I have one. I need two. It's that cold, guys.
You can keep the snow up there because we've had our fill of snow days already.
I don't get snow days.
No, but my kids do. It's great.
That's true. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, we're at CAG Podcast. And if you need to reach out via email for anything, cagpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to get a hold of me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate, how about you?
Chocolate about 80 everywhere.
Moose.
Moosenstein, 8314 everywhere.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Later.
See ya.
Happy Thanksgiving. Does this mean the Thanksgiving dad jokes are done and dead?
Yeah.
Have we moved into Christmas?
Yeah, the best jokes are now.
Oh, boy. Let's hear it.
All right, I'll start off. So, why are ornaments addicted to Christmas?
I don't know.
Go on.
They've been hooked on trees their whole lives.
What happened to the man who stole an advent calendar?
I don't
What
know.
happened?
He got 25 days.
Oh, bear. I got Lego advents to put together tonight.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's fun.
excited.
Want to hear a Job? Job? You want to hear a
Yeah.
Job? You guys want to hear a Job?
Definitely.
Want to hear a joke about construction?
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Good one. Did you guys hear that they figured out what nationality Santa is?
Oh, God.
Nope.
Go
He's
on.
Polish. North Polish.
Yep. It sure is.